So we are down here in Woodburn, Oregon with candidate for the United States Senate, Mark Callahan. And Mark, it's good to be here.
Thanks, Dan.
Today.
Appreciate it.
Good
Yeah.
to see you.
Yeah.
We're at the Arby's parking lot.
Yep.
And I wanted to interview you today. I came down especially to do this.
Yep.
You had a little run-in with the reporters down at the Willamette week, and I think it was on Thursday, right?
Well, it wasn't this week. I mean, the video came out Thursday, and then it went viral on Friday. But it was about a couple weeks ago. But basically, I went to the interview. All five of us were there. Joe Ray was on the phone via speakerphone, and Jason and Monica were on each side of me, and then Tim was at the end. And they basically started doing the interview, basically just asking Jason and Monica questions. So I spoke up and said, "What is this, the Jason and Monica show?" You know, and I said, "Come on, you know, you got to ask us other questions." And so Tim also said something, and then Joe Ray said something too. So Joe Ray starts giving her answer. You know, I think she was talking about the Affordable Care Act. And I'm looking at the reporter across from me, and I see his notepad, and he's writing blah, 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 all over and over again for about a half a page. B-L-A-H, 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 you know. Right. And so Joe Ray gets done with their answer. I call him out on it, and that's what's on the video that's gone viral. So
just to be certain, the reporter who was writing that and then also asked you the Easter Bunny question, right? That's Nigel
Jaquiss,
Jack-asse, Jaquiss, right?
Apparently he's some sort of Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter, but I mean the guy was very dishonorable and very disrespectful.
Well, it's good to get your cut on that. When I saw the video, I thought the same thing. The guy was unprofessional, disrespectful to you, to Joe Ray,
exactly,
and even to everybody in the room. You know, to be doing something like that with the blah blah blah. And then he began in with this 3 strikes thing. Do you think it's appropriate for the media to be making rules like that and approaching you guys like some sort of? In the comments, I've seen a brown shirt board. You know, that's sitting there. You know, making up the rules.
They were condescending. This is what it is. They thought they were in control here. They invited us to be there, and the least they could do is show us some common human decency and common human respect. But they chose not to do that. They choose to be on their power trip. They choose to be elitists. You know, oh yeah, well they're the Pulitzer Prize-winning author here. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm a human being here. You know, I'm an American, and you guys invited us here, and yet you're treating us disrespectfully. And so I'm the type of person that don't take crap. You know, I'm very, I don't sugarcoat. I'm very direct. You know, and I mean that's obviously been obvious when I've been encountered with Conger. You know, Conger and I don't really get along. Okay. But the point is, I had to call him out on it. You know, because it was the right thing to do. I wasn't doing it for publicity or anything like that. I was doing it because they were dishonoring Joe Ray. Right. Joe Ray is a great person. Joe Ray, we travel the campaign trail together. Her and I are the conservatives in the race, and she's a great person. And I just couldn't let them sit there and do what they were doing to Joe Ray without saying anything about it. And that's what you saw in the viral video. So. Okay, yeah, and it is a viral video, and I will link it to my video now. So your behavior, I thought, was when I saw it, I'm a Boy Scout, okay, and I know you're an Eagle Scout, and I said, you know what, that's an Eagle Scout in action from the ones, because that's someone who behaves and has action from their heart. Yeah. Okay? Oh, yeah. It's not words anymore. It's how you behave and stuff. And to me, your opponents, and I'm going to ask you about your opponent's behavior, but some of the people in the comments underneath the video have described them, these aren't my words, but they've described them as like potted plants. And I could say to myself that, you know, and you and Jason may not get along. I'm not sure what Monica and your relationship is, but I would say that any decent human being should have supported you in your action to do that and should have said, hey, you know, that's not right to be sitting there writing blah, blah, blah. And those questions are unprofessional. You know, that's not what we're here for. We're all, you know, we're all Americans. We're all professionals. How would you say, can you talk about the behavior of your opponents in that given situation? Well, I mean, I was pretty much excoriating the people across the table from me, but one thing I noticed on the video watching it is that Jason basically just sat there with a smirk on his face and he crossed his legs. You know, I was like, oh, well, you know, he's not going to do anything, you know. And Monica was sitting right next to me. She kind of had an indifferent look on her face. She did put her hand on my shoulder, you know, almost to calm me down. But the point is, she didn't really do anything. You know, she didn't call him out either. She didn't stand there in solidarity. She didn't leave the room, and Jason didn't leave the room, and Tim certainly didn't leave the room in solidarity because of the way they were treating us. You know, I got up, they threw me out. I mean, you heard on the video, they threw me out. They said I could leave. Yeah. And, I mean, that's not any way a reporter should behave to anyone.
you know.
No. So would you say, I mean, one of the things that I thought when I said that is, even in retrospect, when they got out of that room, they should either do a press release or a letter to the Willamette Week supporting you and calling out these reporters and the Willamette Week, you know, which I call, Pravda on the Willamette, you know, calling them out on their unprofessional behavior. Do you think that would be an appropriate thing for them to do?
I think it would be, but I mean, I haven't seen anything this far for them actually doing that.
Yeah, it's just a silent treatment and hope it all goes away.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
And, that kind of thing. Have you talked to Joe Ray about it?
Oh yeah, Joe Ray and I have talked, and we actually had an event in Roseburg that same night, and that's what I drove to after being kicked out of that meeting. And she was very appreciative. She spent some time in her opening statement down in Roseburg, basically thanking me for sticking up for her and defending her honor and integrity. And I mean, Joe Ray and I get along in the campaign trail. She was at that biker awareness rally at the Capitol earlier today. And,
nice.
Her and I get along, you know. I sometimes share a table with her, you know. And but yeah, she's a great person. And
well, to me, okay, and I'll ask you this question: do you think that the Willamette Week knew who they were going to give their endorsement to before you sat down in that meeting?
I knew they probably wouldn't be giving it to me. I mean, it was just kind of a hunch, you know, because I know how liberal they are. I know that they're not conservative, and I know that they were basically going to ask a bunch of gotcha questions. And they ended up giving it to Conger, which in my opinion, he's more on the liberal side of the fence, even though he puts in his literature like 8 or 9 times that he's his conservative, but no, he's not conservative. But I mean, the point is, they gave it to Conger, and because, I mean, I think it's because maybe he voted 10 times for the Oregon version of Obamacare or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, the guy, he and I don't really get along. I called him out at a recent debate in January on his voting record, and it kind of irked him, and consequently he had his minions come after me, you know. So
well, he is clearly the most liberal of the front runners, so it's no surprise that the endorsement came to him, at least from my perspective anyway. And I guess that you know, I would say that you or Joe Ray are the true conservatives, the true American conservatives in this race.
Yeah.
Do you view this as possibly being a seminal moment and a game changer for you in this election, for people to finally realize that I'm standing next to the guy who's the real conservative inside of the race?
I'm just a regular guy, man. I put my pants on one leg at a time just like everyone else. You know, I'm just an IT guy by trade. So, I mean, I think it is a pivotal moment, though, and the timing couldn't be more excellent because the ballots just came out in the mail here a couple days ago. I got mine today. So, I mean, I think it is a pivotal moment. I think what we need in our country is honor and integrity and character. And I'm just a humble guy. You know, I just did what I thought was right because they were insulting a fellow candidate in the race. And it felt good. I speak from the heart. I'm very passionate, very driven. And it's just how I was raised.
Well, Mark, I've known you since one of the first gun rallies. I think you're an awesome guy. You've been my candidate since the very beginning. There's, you know, truth be disclosed here, and I want to thank you for running, and I hope this is a moment for you, and I want everybody to watch the video, think about what Mark did, and thanks very much for the interview today, and good luck in the race. I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it.
Right,
thank you. Nice seeing you again.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks.